If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, okay, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves, see how you'd like to live your life, see yourself living it that way. Take that picture and describe it, write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it, and read it, and read it, and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it: we become what we think about.
The best are not made in sprints. They're made in the silence, in the mornings when no one is watching, in the decisions no one celebrates, in the hours when it would be easy to quit. Greatness is not built when you're in the mood. It's built when you're not. It's forged in friction, reinforced in resistance, solidified through sacrifice. There are patterns to excellence, predictable, repeatable principles that separate the few from the many. And once you understand those principles, once you install those habits, once you anchor your identity to something unshakable, there's no limit to what you can do. The only limit is how much you're willing to give.
You don't get better automatically. You only get better because you intentionally make a decision to get better. You have to go from being a person of good intentions to a person of good actions. That's the great separator.
Suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit.
You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want. And dreams do come true.
Imagine you talk to the creator of the universe before birth and pick the person you get to become. You say, I want to be the most courageous. The creator replies and says, well, then I will give you monsters to terrify you so that you can conquer them. I want to be wise. And the creator replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so you can learn the value of judgment. You then say, sounds like a rough life. Can you give me a good life? Creator replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer it took to make you. A good life isn't a life that's easy. A good life is a life that makes you into a good person. And that, my son, is a hard life.
The thing that people misunderstand about success is they're looking for the easiest way to get that. Everybody goes 5 easy steps, 10 steps to greatness, 8 steps to this. And those steps for success, they're infinite. You cannot count them. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Those steps are constantly shifting. You don't know if they're there. Sometimes you have to trust that the next step is going to be there when you can't even see it. And sometimes when you step on that step, you go right into quicksand. But you got to be able to pull yourself back out of it again. And you just can't climb steps. Sometimes you got to crawl up those steps, and you finally get to the top, and everything shifts, and you're at the bottom right there. And where you thought was the top is not even the top. It's the beginning. It's literally the beginning of where you're supposed to be. And that's when most people just quit.
But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you say, I'm gonna find the way or I'm gonna make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things and they make a real resolution inside themselves, which is they raise the standard, they make it a must, they find the way. Think about it in your own life. Haven't you had some area of your life where you raised your standard and your life has never been the same? And then one day something happened. Something just clicked you over. Something took you over that kind of tipping point. And inside yourself, you said, no more. something inside of you shifted, and what was a should became a must, and you've never gone back.
I can't. You can't? Are you fucking kidding me? You just said I can't?
And he said, you know, I already know what your biggest problem is. And it's like the limitations you're putting on yourself are self-imposed.
You got to answer that question after you take the first step. This is why I'm always pushing that limit, because I know that within pushing these limits, there's always more.
You're going to fall on your face over and over and over again. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you anxiety. You're not laying in bed at night staring at the ceiling with your heart pounding 3 nights a week. You're probably not trying hard enough. Whatever the goal is, it has to be your goal. You cannot want a goal for someone else, and someone else cannot want a goal for you.
Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry in life when you don't have enough courage, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on. Life moves on you.
When they look in the mirror, they're just trying to see what's on the surface. But winning and losing wants to know what's inside of you. It wants to know what makes you tick. It wants to know what your desires are. It wants to know what your ego is. It wants to know what your limitations are. It wants to know what your mindset is. It wants to know everything about you, because winning does not lie. When you look in the mirror, you can lie and see what's on the surface, cannot lie what's going on inside. And that's what people are not willing to see, the lies that are truly going on inside of them that are not allowing them to win over and over, or sometimes even win once. You have to look, winning requires you to go so far deep inside yourself. It's way beyond the surface. It's way beyond internal. It's going to a place that a lot of people haven't visited in a long, long time, because they're afraid to visit that person, because when they visit that person, they don't know who that person is anymore.
They say the greatest achievement in somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained. There's no more ego there, is there? They let go of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't like, what if this person rejects me? The animosity, the pressures of society, they let it all go because they've lost it all. We're just now left with the intestinal fortitude, the pride within. Do I want to stay on the bottom of this barrel, or I climb up at his hole? And that is a spark of what it turns out to be their greatest moment, their greatest hour. We can live that way, guys. Imagine that you can live when you let go of the thought of failure.
Because if there's no way to go back, it's amazing what happens when it's a must to do something versus a should.
Pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story and they're following you around right now. What would you do? What would you do if you knew that there was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success, and they want to catch you in the act of it all? You would do all the right things you'd have to do. Think about that, organize it.
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. When you love the journey, the goals just happen. You hit milestones as a side effect, because it doesn't matter. At that point, I don't care if I can lift this much weight or run this fast. I mean, that's cool, but I don't love it as much as I love the journey. I love the journey. What does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better,
learning, start it over, do it again. When you fall in love with the journey, everything else takes care of itself.
Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time, even when you don't want it to be there. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. You can't do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. You've got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up. You get scared sometimes. Your mind will go blank on you. Some people you will allow to unnerve you. And you wonder, what's wrong with me? I'm not crazy. That's why you got to learn to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to stand up inside yourself. Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers take chances. Winners make choices. It's all in the way you choose to think.
Outside the parking lot. Dreary, cold morning, Miami Fitness here. Why did I bring that up? Because it's up to the individual to allow the dreariness to set inside. Do we worry about external factors, or do we worry about what's inside of ourselves? Those two different things are the two meters of confidence, positive and negative confidence. And negative confidence is an egocentric person. Bases all their performance trying to achieve third parties' agreeability, their likeness, their thumbs up, because we value their opinion. Those kind of people allow this mood and weather and everything to set in to dictate their performance of the day. There's also another side, the positive side of confidence, starts from within. That's called pride. That doesn't value rain, sun, if there's someone in the corner looking at them, if it's 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, that pride is always awake.
To look at any great performer, one thing that makes them great is their grit. One thing that makes them great is their hunger to practice. One thing that makes them great is they are willing to sacrifice. I mean, yes, they're passionate, but did you know the root of the word passion is suffering? You've got to be willing to suffer for your vision. You've got to be willing to suffer to reach BIW, best in world. You've got to be willing to suffer the ridicule and laughter of your critics and your cynics to get to a place called world class.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it.
You might have sore legs, sore back, sore shoulder. So, the struggle is real. It never gets any easier. You gotta get harder. No one cares what you did yesterday. It only matters doing today.
Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like, because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do. It's like, it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit. And as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone.
You have to have a contract with yourself of what greatness looks like, what winning looks like, what success to you is. And that contract is non-negotiable. It is literally non-negotiable.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile.
Time does not align with that thought, right? Time is a scarcity, right? If we think in terms of time, a man-made construct, by the way, we only have so much time. I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when I get my first job. It goes on and on. Guess what? When you attach your happiness to an outcome based on time, that time will never come. You need to, in order to be happy, enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. That's happiness. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And you got to know what your potential is. What do you want? You need to consistently, every day, persistently, without quit, enjoy that pursuit. Why consistency? I think consistency is the most important thing, because consistency elevates your awareness. What's the lesson? Don't limit your point of entry. Consistently, persistently pursue your potential and enjoy it. That's all I did.
And so there has to be this point in your life where what you want is so much greater than where you are. You're in such discomfort. In other words, the gap between what you're dreaming of, what you're destined to do, what you're capable of, you're aware of it compared to where you are. That tension between the two has a pull power to it, right? I really believe that at the end of your life, you're going to get introduced to the person you could have been, you were destined to be, that he made you to be. And so I'm chasing that dude. Every day I'm chasing that dude. That's the pull power for me. I took the comfortable road. The comfortable road will never lead you to the person you were destined to be, ever in your life. And so if you don't become obsessed with chasing that person, you end up never meeting it.
Put an unfair pressure on people to have a vision, right? And I think that's true. We're not all Steve Jobs, and we don't all have big, world-changing visions, to your point. I do believe, however, you can find a vision, right? In other words, it doesn't have to be yours. It can be someone else's. We found Martin Luther King. We found Mahatma Gandhi. We found Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, the visionaries. And people go, I love his vision. Right? You don't have to have a vision, but I do believe you have to find one.
And some of y'all have a habit of dreaming within your bank account. Some of your thoughts and visions are so big and so outlandish and so powerful and amazing, you'll end up talking yourself out of that dream from saying, I can't afford that. I came here to remind you that when people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers. People that don't have their own visions, they become vision killers. They want nothing more than to talk you out of your own visions. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big.
So at any time, if you feel happy or unhappy, miserable, joyful, ecstatic, in a state of agony, doesn't matter what happens, what is your experience, pleasantness or unpleasantness, just to know that it's happening from within, and it can only happen from within. You can either take external stimuli or you can create your own stimuli, but essentially it happens from within. This one thing, if it is not grasped, when you feel miserable, if you think it's this one, you're gone. It's not going to work. This one basic fundamental thing is something that almost 90% of the humanity is always doing it wrong. Whenever they feel miserable, they think it must be this one or that one or that one or that one. Now, all human experience is generated from within. The harder you try, the further away from it you go. First thing is to bring balance. Once there is balance, then you can build a tower on top of this.
So many of us are operating on patterns where we're trying to get needs met through other people that we have to focus inward first. We have to be able to fulfill ourselves, meet our own needs authentically before I can then authentically present them to another person.
The world doesn't need another perfect person. The world needs you. And you're trying your best. You're doing what you can. And, I think it's really important that you cut yourself a break and that you stop thinking that you have to be perfect. There are going to be days where you feel so underwater, and that's okay. You'll get through it. You'll figure it out. And you've got to understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about just being you.
The mind's like, I want to be in charge of you. I don't want you to be in charge of me. So it tells you, let's just stop right here. But once you start breaking through that barrier and start breaking down that governor that you've put in your mind, because we forget we are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. We're good, we got it. This sucks, but it's okay.
Like, do you really want to go your whole life without seeing what your mind is capable of?
Stop making excuses. Simple as that.
Fear, it's a construct of the mind in the first place.
Be f***ing fearless. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action.
What do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. Everything in their life is geared towards one goal.
Any human realizes that if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it.
If you can understand that it is irrelevant what people gossip, it is irrelevant what they say, it is irrelevant if they laugh, it is irrelevant if they talk shit, and you understand that the only thing is relevant is what you do, you're going to succeed.
You're not just competing against people who want the same things that you want. You are competing against people who have no other choice but to get the thing that you want.
If my life was a movie and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be inspired to take risks, not just risks to achieve success, but embrace feeling, both pride and shame, fear and excitement. Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows.
Feeling vulnerable is letting go of your ego, letting go of that tightness, letting go of that ability to protect yourself at all costs from any kind of hurt. You want to fail in life, you want adversity. Failing in life is the best education that can ever happen to you. And failing in life is a deep wound, but it teaches you very valuable lessons. So if you go through life where I don't want to ever feel hurt, I don't ever want to feel criticized or to fail, you're never going to learn, you're never going to succeed, you're never going to be powerful.
Voluntarily undertaken responsibility isn't a burden. It's an opportunity, right? That doesn't mean it's not easy, but easy. Like, I don't know what easy is. What's easy? Pointless misery? That's not easy. Like, So I guess the reason you pick up your cross and walk uphill is because that's the best thing you can do, all things considered.
When you said, I'm all in, were you really all in? Let me tell you what the cost of being all in is. Early mornings, late nights, being misunderstood, having very few friends, being your own cheerleader. Are you those things? People always talk about, I'm a hard worker. Everybody in this room is a hard worker. That's not going to separate you from anybody else. What are you working hard on?
If you really want to be great at something, it definitely doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year or two. And even if you're having a great season or you're having a career year, there's still so much more room to continue to improve. You know, it's still much more room for you to continue with the process of becoming great. The time and the commitment that you give to yourself, and to your body, and to your craft, and to your mind, those things will take care of itself. And if it's meant for you to have, then it's meant for you to have. And if it's not, if you've done all those things leading up to it and it still didn't happen, you sleep better at night. You're okay with yourself because you gave your body, your mind, your soul, everything that you could ever ask for.
Being great right now, bro, how do you want to be remembered? You know you're meant for more, bro. You see, there's a difference between choices and decisions. Choices means you get to pick. You don't have a choice right now. You have to decide to be great. You have to decide to leave behind a legacy that's worth following. Get the fuck up. Nobody cares how you feel. Put the work in. And leave behind that legacy for them.
Life isn't fair. It's not supposed to be. It's a fight for your peace, your focus, and your future. You don't get to cruise through it. You earn your breakthroughs. You either face the pain or let it own you. That voice in your head telling you to stop, it's lying. So no, it's not easy. But the only way you lose is if you quit.
The things we do in the invisible when no one's watching make all the difference in the world. No matter where you are in life, you know that there's something more, there's something bigger. If you continue to do the same thing, you'll continue to get the same results. There's no other way to look at it. How many opportunities have you missed because you sat on the sidelines?
What I see today is that everything's possible in this world for those who don't quit on themselves or their dreams, to reach higher and higher with our dreams, to become more ridiculous with our dreams, because they're all possible.
Every time you have a thought, you're telling yourself a story that's gonna decide, are you having a great day? Are you moving forward? Are you making progress? Or are you convincing your own mind that things are not going well, that things are bad, and you've got things going against you? Every thought you're in control of. And when you're in control of your thoughts, you can change your story at a moment. You can change what you say so you stop hypnotizing yourself to be negative and start promoting your mind so you get the results that you want. Everything you say to yourself is going to be a reaction to what you're telling your mind.
Because whatever you say to yourself and believe over and over again, you start to believe as a reality. You start to walk it, you talk it, and act it. So what you say is, I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is, I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for. Every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
You can make a million excuses why you didn't work out this morning. You can make a million excuses why you didn't get that raise, why you didn't take that leap of faith. You can make a million excuses, but you know deep down inside, and consciousness is eating away at you, that it's an excuse. It's not a reason, It's an excuse. Stop making excuses. And when you stop making excuses, the only alternative is then results. You will have periods of defeat, but that defeat will be temporary and not permanent, because you will dust yourself off, get back up, and try again.
So what's the story you're telling yourself from the day you wake up and all through the day till the night? Just because things don't go your way doesn't mean you can't change the story or learn a lesson from what's happening. Tell yourself the story and the results that you want. Convince yourself that things are always going your way, even when they aren't, and you'll find the direction and you'll find the answer to get the results that you're looking for and that you need. Convince yourself that the stories that you're convincing yourself of are positive and not negative. And the stories and the events and the feelings you get will create the results that you want.
You want to be on your deathbed, looking back at your life saying, I just didn't try. It's unfortunate when things don't work out. It's unfortunate when things don't go the way you planned. But if you try as hard as you possibly can and things just don't go your way, that's still a life that you can hang your hat on. But to live a full life of mediocrity, of apathy, of not trying, of always opting for comfort and convenience instead of doing what is right, doing what is best for you and your family, is not just something that you can't hang your hat on. It is something that you should be ashamed of, something you should be embarrassed about.
What if you don't accomplish your goals? What if you don't do anything different? What if you just make a long list of things that you would like to do, but you don't?
Respect is earned through results. Respect is earned through commitment, through effort, through doing what you say you're going to do, and displaying that through everything in your life.
Just so we're all clear, some of the best lessons that you will ever learn, some of the best lessons that I will ever learn, will come from the most pain, the most frustration, and the darkest moments.
But who are you on those few days when all hell's broke loose? Your body's up. You're sore. You're depressed. You're miserable. Who are you on those days when shit's all f***ed up? That's the great divide. Those people who get up on those days when everything's f***ed up and still grind, that's the separator right there. We all have dreams. I had it when I was younger. So I figured the best place to make those dreams come true are in isolation.
You know, one way of looking at unhappiness is people who are, in one way or another, in a tunnel. They say, the only way to live is this way. They're not happy with it, but it seems the only way. I've got to love this person, though it's not making me happy. I've got to do this job, though it's a prison. I've got to live in this place, though I don't like it. You know, we can unpick some of those things and say, really? Is that absolutely necessary? Human beings are brilliant at building themselves cages and throwing away the key.
We are built to constantly compare ourselves to other people. We're always thinking of what the other person has and how we are in relation to them. Are we getting as much attention as that other person? This started off when we were children. Are we getting more attention than our siblings from our parents? So we're continually comparing ourselves in rank and power and status to the people around us.
For the most part, our thinking is born of obsession and usually wrapped up in a whole lot of junk from the outside, past things that we project into the future, stuff we saw on TV, stuff that we heard on the internet, something that somebody said to us. Most of our thinking is not serving us because it doesn't come from stillness. It's a form of activity, not action.
I want them to come up against the point where they're gonna give up, quit. And they're gonna sit there and nobody else is giving up and quitting. And they're gonna go all in more and they're gonna start believing that there's something on the other side of that emotion. They're gonna believe that there's something past the story of their past because they're stretching themselves out of the known. And it takes a tremendous amount of awareness, repetition, information, model building, sharing, understanding, experiencing to finally have a person get to the point where they just let go.
You better be real careful with the words that you tell yourself, because that right there, how you view yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you look in the mirror, and how you perceive yourself, that's the same way you're going to see the world, the same way you're going to talk to the world, and the same thing you're going to get out of the world. So you better be real careful on the story you tell yourself on how you feel about yourself. Otherwise, what are you going to expect?
The origin of wisdom, according to the Greeks, was know thyself, right? And I believe that very firmly, that knowledge about who you are is an end in itself and will help you in so many ways become that human being that I think we all have the potential to become.
The first and most important thing is that you have to understand that if 95% of who you are is a set of unconscious programs, then the first step is lighting a match in a dark place. If you want to become someone else, you got to become aware of who you are.
How you can change your circumstances by changing your attitude. Your attitude towards life will determine what you get. If you're avoidant and hostile towards people, a hostile person will tend to create hostility around it.
Revelation is very clear. Revelation is very eminent. Revelation is what's being revealed to you, what's right in front of your eyes. If only you stop thinking.
But I told myself, the guy that hires me is going to be proud he picked me. So what do you got to do? You got to show up every day. And what happened is I was on this path. Here's that path right there. It just glows. And all of a sudden, people start jumping off the path over time. Kids, drugs, failure, it doesn't matter, excuses, I don't care what it is. But if you stay on that path and people are jumping off, you show up and guess what happens? You become the oldest guy in the team.
I think that you don't suffer less. You suffer differently. And the most important thing is if you're not alone. Probably the most difficult thing in all our experiences, and certainly in the experience of pain or loss or suffering or ache, is not to be alone.
Each time I feel anger at my sibling or my mother or friend for saying something that I misinterpreted, I go, that's your ego speaking. These people weren't saying something that was personal. You just have your ego, which is always getting in your way. Question it.
You see, the moment your life will change is the moment that you turn your reasons of why you can't into your reasons of why you can.
You learn to love yourself in the context of your relationships with others. It's interactive. You need a good amount of self-awareness, but you also need to be in relationships because it's people who help you become more aware.
It's simple. Knowledge, experience, wisdom. Philosophy, initiate that philosophy, master it. Mind, body, soul, thinking, doing, being, learning with your head, applying it with your hands, knowing it by heart. And this is the journey of knowledge, because when you learn that information and you really study it, you are going to begin to see the world differently because your brain is changing.
Imperfection stalks us. I don't think we will ever overcome it. And indeed, the quest to be immortal, to be free of blemishes, to be always correct, to say and feel always the appropriate thing, is in itself a form of madness and wrongness. And I think that we best accommodate ourselves to the conditions of life by accepting in an a priori way that we are flawed, those around us will be flawed, we will make errors, those around us will make errors. We are largely in the dark, therefore we need to go easy on ourselves and be generous towards others.
If I could stay connected to the emotions of my future all day long, there's no way I would be looking for when it would be happening. How could I look for when it would be happening if I feel like it's happened? I wouldn't look anymore, which means I wouldn't be separate from it. And that's when you start creating the magic.
So that somebody else tells you, I too have gone through this. That's why we read books that inspire us from other people who had also lost and found their way back and saw the light again, and they created new hope and reconnected with someone and allowed themselves to love again and have another child and start another business, whatever it is. You know, you go through it, but you have a sense that there is that thing called going through it, and that you can come out of it on the other side, that there is hope.
You want to love life. You want to love fate. And what fate means, things happen to you you can't control. You didn't control who your parents are. You didn't control what city you were born into, what school you went into. You didn't control whether you were born rich or poor, right? There's much you can't control, that's fate. Accept it for what it is. Stop whining and stop going, I want something else. Embrace your world, your life. Our fear of death is probably the greatest influence on our behavior.
Revelation is literally like, it's not something very mystical. It's look at what's right in front of you. Most of the times, if there's a crisis, if we just stop, sit, and open our eyes, the path is revealed right in front of us.
Become obsessed with improving yourself. There's something about self-improvement that has a bad reputation. People throw around the term and it sounds nice in theory, like something you'd aspire to in the abstract. But when it comes to the daily grind, to the work it takes to improve yourself, not just once, but consistently, it's easy to get distracted, to push it aside, to think there's always tomorrow. But here's the truth. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you need to become obsessed with it. Obsessed with growth, obsessed with learning, obsessed with the constant drive to push yourself further, harder, and beyond what you thought was possible. It's not enough to casually want to improve. It's not enough to tell yourself, I'll work on myself when I have time. Because you never will. Time doesn't wait. The competition doesn't wait. The world doesn't wait. If you're not obsessed with improving yourself, you're going to get left behind. Obsession isn't a negative word. Let's redefine obsession for a moment. We often think of obsession as unhealthy or out of balance. We associate it with fixation, with an inability to stop thinking about something or someone to the point where it becomes all-consuming and disruptive. But that's not the obsession I'm talking about. The obsession I'm talking about is a focused, relentless, and powerful commitment to growth. It's an addiction to getting better every single day. And this type of obsession, it's a positive force. It drives you, motivates you, and transforms you into the person you're meant to be. The price of mediocrity. When you're not obsessed with becoming better, you settle for mediocrity. You accept the status quo. You let the days pass, feeling like you're doing enough, but never truly pushing your boundaries. But there's a cost to this. You might be comfortable. You might be content. But contentment is a dangerous thing when it comes to growth. It's a silent killer of progress. Because while you're comfortably going through the motions, someone else out there is grinding. Someone else is obsessed with learning, with refining, with becoming the absolute best at what they do. And here's the kicker, that someone will be the one who takes your place. They'll be the one who steps into opportunities, who builds the empire, who becomes the version of themselves you only dreamed of being. This isn't a scare tactic. This is a reality check. If you're not obsessed with improving yourself, you're letting time slip away. You're letting opportunities pass by without taking advantage of them. And in the end, it's not about what you were capable of. It's about what you actually did. The key is this. You can't just want it. You can't just be mildly interested. You have to be relentless. Every hour you dedicate, every minute you spend improving, every time you push yourself past your limits is a step closer to mastery. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved greatness and think, they must have had it easier. But the truth is, those who are exceptional didn't get there by accident. They got there by becoming obsessed with their own improvement. Fueling the obsession. So, how do you get obsessed with improving yourself? How do you make it a part of who you are, not just something you try for a while and then quit? It starts by making growth a lifestyle, not a phase. You need to make it your default. Your obsession becomes your compass. It's what wakes you up early, keeps you up late, and pushes you through challenges. It's what keeps you committed to the process when others are giving up, when things get hard, and when it seems like the reward is too far off. The power of small wins. It's easy to think that obsession means going all in from day one. But the reality is, obsession isn't just about big, dramatic actions. It's about consistency and small wins that build up over time. Each small victory compounds. Each new lesson learned adds another layer to your foundation. The obsession is in the little things, the daily habits, the attention to detail, the unwavering commitment to getting 1% better every single day. This is how champions are made, through the repetition of small actions, repeated with precision and passion. It's the obsession that drives the action, and it's the action that creates momentum. Turning obsession into legacy. When you're obsessed with improving yourself, it doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives of everyone around you. Obsession creates ripple effects. As you grow, as you get better, as you rise higher, you inspire those around you to do the same. You become an example of what's possible, of what relentless effort can accomplish, and eventually, your obsession will turn into legacy. You'll leave behind a trail of impact, of people whose lives you've touched, of goals you've crushed, and of achievements that others will look up to for years to come. Becoming obsessed with improving yourself is not about reaching some distant finish line. It's about the pursuit. It's about the constant striving to be better than you were yesterday. It's about never being satisfied, never settling, and always looking for ways to grow. Because the journey, the obsession, is the reward. The version of yourself you're becoming is the greatest gift you can give to the world. So, become obsessed. Go after it with everything you've got. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for someone else to tell you it's time. The time is now. And if you stay obsessed with your growth, the world will never be the same.